Oh, hey, didn't see you guys. This is an Ormsby, particularly an Ormsby Metal V GTR6. And I really think it's Ormsby Hype GTR6. This is the Run 5 model. I'm going to say a little bit about the run system in a second. It's an absolutely beautiful guitar. It's got a nice cool maple top, but I'll get to all the specs in a second. First, for those of you who don't know what Ormsby is, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the company itself. Ormsby Guitars are an Australian custom shop located in Perth, Australia. That's where they hand build all their custom shop guitars. This right here, however, is not one of their custom hand built models. It's one from WMI in Korea. This line of guitars that they produce there is called the GTR line. They're produced in production runs. The way those work are that they collect a bunch of pre-orders on their website or the Reverb store for that matter. And when the pre-order window closes, they start production a couple of weeks later, as far as I know, and produce basically exactly as many as were pre-ordered plus X amount of extras, how many Perry decides they're going to need. Right, so I'm going to walk you through the specs of this thing real quick. I'll start with the woods. It's a 3-piece mahogany body. I got really lucky in the mahogany department because you might be able to see it on camera. I'm just going to turn it around a bit. It's a very highly figured, ribboned, quilted, flamed, whatever piece of mahogany. It looks very pretty. The neck is a set neck with a really nice axis joint, as you can see here. It's a 5-piece laminate rock, maple, and wenge neck. It just 5-piece just adds stability and it looks hella cool. The fretboard is a really nice dark even piece of ebony. The top is both on the headstock, I'll put it right here, and the body is both quilted maple. The color on this particular model, this blue to pink fade, it's a fade. I'm sorry Ormsby, but it's a fade. It's called Dragonburst. It's a fade. It's white binding on both the headstock and the body. The inlays are stated on the website as white, but they're actually, or at least it says white on my spec sheet. I might have just copied it wrong. But they are definitely mother of pearl. The hardware, it's got a push-pull tone knob, 3-way switch, 2 humbuckers. One is Ormsby. They're both Ormsby designed, as we like to call it in these parts. The bridge pickup is a nunchucker. It's rated at 9.3K DC resistance, and it's an Alnico 8 magnet, which I love. I've never played an Alnico 8 before this guitar, but it absolutely sold me. They sound great. And they retain clarity very well. This is in C standard, and it still sounds crisp. The neck pickup is a Della Creme. It's also designed by Ormsby. It's rated, the DC resistance is rated at 8K, and it's an Alnico 2. They do have a nice contrast. You can go from the searing leads and tight chugs to nice warm lead tone. I really like the way this pickup set is balanced. The bridge is Ormsby's design, built by Hipshot. The tuners are also Ormsby branded Hipshot tuners, and they lock, which is an awesome feature to have in any guitar. It's got a bone nut. That's also very important. It holds tuning extremely well. So as you can see, it's got a gloss finish, pretty obvious. The neck shape is, on the website, it's described as a D shape, but with rounded shoulders. That's correct, yes. Rounded shoulders. Ormsby call it a thin U. It does feel like it feels like a D shape, but in a weird way. Yeah, you really have to try one to kind of gauge this particular neck shape, in my opinion. It's got stainless steel frets, which is another awesome feature to have. You're never going to have to worry about your frets well, they're going to wear, but not a lot, and they're pretty much never going to tarnish, so they're always going to feel like they were just polished, which is awesome to have. And now to the probably the most prominent, well, besides the finish, the most prominent feature of the entire guitar. You can probably tell that the frets don't exactly align with one another. They're not parallel. This design is called multi-scale. You'll also notice the humbuckers are angled, and the bridge and the nut are angled in opposite directions. Basically, it lends itself to a more ergonomic positioning of your hand because the frets kind of adapt to the natural position of the hand. It just makes there's less strain on your wrist when you're playing and stuff like that. It gets really noticeable if you play long sets or just practice for hours on end. What it also does is, since the nut and bridge are closer together on the treble side and further apart on the bass side, what happens is you end up getting a shorter scale length on the treble side and a longer scale length on the bass side. So basically, this particular model has a 25.5 inch scale length on the treble side, so basically a normal Strat scale, and a 27.5 inch scale length on the bass side, which is pretty much baritone territory. So you can really get away with low tunings while not using bridge cable strings. Right, so in conclusion, you'll see the V is actually fine. I tricked all of you. In conclusion, I really, really love my Hype. It's been 9 months since I got it. I got it last year in September at Guitar Summit. Those of you who are in the Facebook group might remember me as that idiot who got their Dragonburst about 2 months earlier than all the other people on the planet. Which I really don't deserve, but Perry was awesome at Guitar Summit and he let me have it. I'm going to type out the story in the description. Those of you who are interested can read it. It was really nice of him to let me take this home. At that point, thanks to Perry for making that happen. As you can see, it's also signed by him on the back of the headstock and by Joss Allen, which is another guitarist that I admire for his style of play. I'm especially happy with the Hype because you're really not paying for what you're getting, if that makes any sense. You're not really paying boutique guitar prices, but you're getting boutique guitar quality. It was at the time by far the best guitar I own. Now it's on par with the new V. It was so good that I wanted to buy a second Ormsby, if that is any indication. And the V probably won't be the last. I really cannot say that I regret. Even though for me, I'm a university student, for me, what this guitar cost and what this guitar cost was a lot of money that I saved for a long time, working during university or next to university. Yeah, I really can't recommend them enough, honestly. Some might call me a fanboy, but haters gonna hate. Yeah, that pretty much wraps it up for my Ormsby GTR Run 5 review. Thanks for watching.
Sitting down, you can read.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah?
Perfect, thank you.
Ready? Yeah.
Now it's fine that this isn't the handwritten one. Can you get that? This is fucking
Now, how happy are you?
happy as fuck, dude.